hey guys, we found Warhorse, or Warhorse found us, or something like that. So we came here, and near Prague, there's a brewery. So what they're doing is they're loading me up with this really delicious Imperial Stout right here, and they've got a few other varieties here from the local brewery. They're going to load me up with that and let me play the game so that I say really nice things and all that. I'm going to say probably really nice things anyway. Let's go play the game. All right, so right now we're looking at Kingdom Come, and Kane is playing the tutorial. So as soon as you draw your sword, a star will appear on your opponent and you'll sort of be locked to them. And as you can see here, as he moves his mouse around, up, down, left, and right, it moves the angle of attack. So if you move your mouse, straight up, it'll be an over-the-head blow. If you move your mouse to the bottom right quadrant, I guess it's not really a quadrant because it's five-sided, but if you move your mouse to the bottom right, you'll be swinging from the bottom right. And the same is true with blocking. You hold on Q to block. And you can block just about everything by holding on Q, but the problem is that your stamina is going to be drained, and it can be drained quite quickly. So what you do instead in this game is try to time it just before they lunge by pressing Q just once. And then you'll parry their attack, and you'll be able to counterattack immediately. The other thing you could do is if you hold down the right-click button, you'll go back and you'll be able to do a stab or a lunge attack. And that's pretty much the combat that we've experienced thus far. And the people are weaving and dodging out of the way when you're fighting them. Some people, when they saw this, they likened it to chivalry. But this is a few steps above chivalry. It's actually more like true combat would have been. And you can really tell that they've taken a lot of steps to research, find out how things work back then, and then implement them into the game. So there you have it. That's the combat. All right, we just played through the combat system on Kingdom Come. Now this is Victor, and you're the designer. So in the combat system in particular, how much research did you do, and how accurate do you feel it is to like the old school, like medieval style combat?
Yeah. Well, we did a lot of research actually, and we spent almost, I would say, years of studying, because there is some particular feature of the European medieval combat is that actually no one now really knows how it looked at the time, because unlike the Asian combat, when you actually have that heritage that your teacher actually was teaching by the teacher who was teaching by his teacher, etc.
Right.
And this goes to the guy in the 15th century. In the European it was very different because the development was very fast. And so these guys fought with the long swords, have big armors, but then firearms came, and suddenly the armors were useless, so they put it away, and then suddenly they didn't need those long swords, so they dropped the long swords and came up with smaller weapons and stuff. So actually it was interrupted, and now you have just the old manuscripts and manuals, and you can study them, and there is a lot of people who is doing it, and this is some kind of organization of this old stuff. So a lot of people are studying it and reconstructing it, and so we talked to a lot of these people and looked at the manuals, and this is the research we did for the game.
All right, so you also worked on some of the RPG elements in the game, and there's a lot of RPGs out there and that sort of thing, and I guess some of the big ones like Skyrim and you see Dark Souls, you guys went for like realism over anything else. Do you feel like that the realism can ever get in the way of the fun, or do you feel like the realism is more important than fun, or how do you try to balance realism with fun?
Yeah. Well, what we tried to do was to convince people that the realism is fun, because I was, for example, actually working in the past on the Operation Flashpoint, which was realistic combat war simulator or something like that. Dan Vavra, our creative director, worked on the Mafia game, which is also somewhat realistic. So we love realistic games, and we believe that there can be a lot of fun in realistic games. Yeah. And this is, realistic games, but from the 15th century, so no one ever actually knows really very well how it was in the 15th century. And imagine that you have a time machine and you can go back to the 15th century and just go around the world there, and it's cool, I believe. It's realistic, but still it's fun.
Yeah. So speaking of fun, like, how are the quest systems in the game? Do you have like one major quest, and then there's several other quests, or is it just an open world game where there's multiple small quests?
You have a main story, and it's a chain of quests that lead you through the game. You have a lot of stuff to do in the world, so you can just leave the main story aside for a while and just go to the world and find some stuff to do. And there is a lot of other side quests. There is a lot of activities you can do. You can just walk around the world and look for fun anywhere.
Now, you've been developing on this game for a little while, and we have a lot of developers actually on our website, so they're probably going to want to know some things about the game. I know you guys are using the CryEngine. What's the most difficult thing that you've had to do throughout the development of this game? What was the most difficult thing to implement, maybe?
The combat.
The combat? Yeah.
Combat because, or maybe two things, combat and AI, because the CryEngine is awesome engine. We have really chosen it after a long decision time, and we have chosen the CryEngine because it looks great, but it's actually optimized for the first-person shooters. And the AI that is included in there is great for first-person shooters, but we have no first-person shooters, so we actually needed to put all the AI away and create our own, which was maybe the most important, definitely most difficult part. And the combat is actually using the physics in the CryEngine, but only on the basics. And the whole system, when you have a sword that slides over the opponent's body, it's very complicated calculations made on the physics of the CryEngine, and it's a lot of pain. And our programmers hate us because we want it from them. But it's really great.
Awesome. So, how far into development are you guys? And how much longer do you think it'll be until we can see a beta or a finished copy?
But never ask a game developer this question because we need all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, we believe that we will release in 1 hour. So next summer it will be. It must be. And yeah, we are going there. I think we released the combat like months ago or few weeks ago for our backers, and they loved it. So it was the major achievement, and now we just need to build a game around it. So.
All right. How big is the game going to be when it's finished? How many different quests and how many hours do you think you could put into the game before you see all the content?
The main quest should take like 20, 30 hours maybe. But we really encourage the player to not just to follow main quest, but to look around the world, to find some activities and stuff, to fight the bandits, to combat in the combat tournaments and stuff. So there's a lot of content at the end.
I guess last question here. I've seen like the day and night cycle and that sort of thing, but so far all the videos I've seen online, the weather has been kind of the same. Do you have a weather system? Is there going to be snow? Is there going to be rain? What can we expect as far as weather goes?
We actually the game is in the June all the time. It's you have days and nights, and it's still the June. I hope the AI don't realize it and doesn't think it's strange, but so no snow, but the weather system is there for sure. We're just not showing it because it's not very nice yet. Maybe in one trailer we have a raining or something, and we actually are preparing the AI for that. So when it's raining, the NPCs are running for cover and stuff. So it's something that you actually use for the gameplay. That, for example, it's easier to steal something when it's raining because most of the people are out of the streets and out of the fields and hiding at home, waiting when the storm comes away. So.
Awesome. Well, sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, Victor, thank you very much. And guys, check out the game and also let us know what you guys think in the comments. So, Victor?
Thank you.
Pleasure. Guys, be sure to check out the Corsair coverage. They are unveiling a new Cherry MX Switch. It's silent. So be sure to check that out. Also, they've got some new RGB action going on here with the brand new version of the Strafe. They've got a new MMO gaming mouse called the Scimitar. And they also have some new RGB headsets. So check out the footage by clicking on the screen or see the link in the description. Or else.